Due to the ignorance of our host, parental discretion is advised.
Hey, welcome back to the other side of the Beehive, episode 242. It's your weekly boys. Today, with us is the one and only Trey Lamb.
What's up, baby? We're back.
How's it going, dude?
We had to run it back.
I'll be honest with you.
It was Halloween last time, right?
Yeah. I'm glad to see you with that big old beak in front of my face.
That's right.
Just a regular
I watched
beak.
that episode. I'm like, that was terrible.
It was
No
fun.
more. No
Nah,
more.
it was hey, we were
I'll do more makeup.
a couple
next time.
guys goofing around.
Like I
Nothing
do on the
crazy.
weekends, you know?
Yeah,
Wake up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I don't know about masks. And then I went to the bar after, like the day after, and same thing. I had it on
You had the mask
for
on
like
at the bar.
5 minutes, and then I'm like, well, I can't drink, I can't eat.
It looked like a good idea in the package. But
Yeah.
like when in its real element,
This
you're
would be like, oh, this would be cool, and then I went.
It was like that old time, that like old doctor one, right?
stuff the shit in
plague
there.
doctor.
Yeah, the
They
plague
thought-
doctor. Yeah, you
thought
shouldn't be
it
drinking
protected
if you're wearing that. You got to accept the responsibilities that come with something
Well,
like
I
that.
tried. I mean, here I went.
I'm sure
I
they
went,
were fucked up too, though.
Here I
right?
went full.
Yeah, they had-
Here I went full 100. Remember?
Yeah.
And then also here I brought one of my good fedoras,
Yeah.
and then when I
Good
went to the bar,
fedoras.
I brought the one.
One of my good fedoras. Yeah.
Well,
This is my good fedora. Guys.
That's how I walk into places.
Yeah.
How's it going?
But I-
This is my good fedora.
You're like,
whatever.
which fedora? You know what? I'm going with a good fedora
But not only
tonight.
that,
I'm
but
feeling
like,
it.
what I'm trying to say is like it came with a shitty fedora. See what I'm saying? That's why there's less levels.
Sure. So you had to do the nice fedora.
So I did a nice one here, and then I
Yeah.
went to the bar and I put the other one. I'm like, oh, this one fits better because it's a piece of shit. So I can
Yeah.
just stretch it and literally just cramp it to
Sure.
my head.
Yeah.
This one was like I would turn around. It was because of the mask. I couldn't get it down. It was just whatever, dude. Anyway, you're here.
Nightmare scenario.
You're here. You almost didn't dress. I mean, you kind of didn't dress up.
Yeah, I did that. I did a real clutch move
Yeah.
that I've done a couple times when I show up to a place where I'm supposed to be in costume and I'm not.
You travel in your car in that costume, right? Like
Oh.
at any given time, you're like, oh, costume? I got you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Exactly.
it's March.
I'm kind of always wearing a costume because of just the way I dress. So all I have to do is slap on a pair of shades and I can be Mitch Hedberg or Kurt Cobain.
That's true.
Who do you need? What do you want?
Although the last time I saw you, I think it was. I came and saw you on.
Well, Saturday. So
No,
last Saturday.
no, before that. I think it was Jordan Landing. You headline.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I think it was right about the time you cut your hair,
Okay. Yeah, I've had a couple rough cuts
and I was
this
like,
year.
"Oh, he's going for the Ellen DeGeneres look."
All right. Oh, so this I get it. So you bring me on the pod, you make a
Yeah,
fool
I'm
out of
shit
me.
on you? No.
Okay.
But I was just like, and I remember I texted you or something. I'm like, "Why'd you cut your hair?" It was like, "I know, dude. It's gonna grow again." I was like,
I know.
Thank God.
That's what I just kept. That's how I would be able to sleep. Is just telling myself it'll grow back. Because I had one. The last cut I had was good. I liked it, and the one before that, I didn't. It was no good. That was probably the one you saw.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of cuts, so when I do, it's a big deal. And it's very easy for me to look like a lesbian with a certain haircut.
I mean,
And that's been a
I was
problem.
turned on.
That's been a problem since I was a child. I remember my mom likes to bring up a story about when I was probably 11 or something, and I got a haircut, and I cried after. And she said, "Why? What's wrong?" And I said, "I look like a lesbian."
You
I
said that at 11?
as a child. I was like, "I look like a lesbian," and because Ellen was very popular at the time. And she tells me that she had to hold back her laughs because I was so upset. She had to still be like, "Oh no, it's okay," but she was like dying.
Your mom was like, "He's gonna have a future."
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
I'm crying. I look like a lesbian. And she's like, I mean, it's okay. So then she took me to a Supercuts after that to get another cut.
Is that the next step up from Great Clips? Like you got
Yeah,
Great
what are the
Clips and then
levels?
Super Cuts?
Yeah. I think Great Clips is
bottom
like
one has
a.
to be a mom and pops, right?
No, I
No,
think they're better.
they might do you.
Really?
take
They might
care
do
of
you
you.
all right. Yeah. I don't-
Yeah, I think bottom of the barrel is, and no disrespect in case they're looking for sponsorship, but I mean, Great Clips. I think they just bring them on in. They're like,
Bro.
"Can you hold scissors? You're hired."
When I lived in LA, I got a haircut at a I think it was Korean hair salon.
Oh damn.
Bob. Every time. Everyone's leaving with a bob, no matter what. It's my fault for going in and seeing everyone leaving with a bob.
Everybody goes in there with different hairstyles. They'll come out
You're coming out with a
Can I just
bob.
get a little bit on the yeah?
You're coming out with a bob. And yeah, looking back, it's on me.
Yeah.
I should have known that's what they do. They do bobs.
Don't we have sports clips?
That's where I go, but I only go there because I have a lady that works there. She's the manager of the place, and obviously, when you get onto the app,
Yeah.
that you look at her and everybody's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. She's 4 hour wait. So it's like, well, I got to plan it out, but she never fucks my hair.
I guess that's not what I meant. Didn't we have a place when there was bikini cuts?
Yeah.
We still have it?
No.
Or is it against the law now?
No, it's not against
Bikini
the law. I
cuts?
just don't think it was quite the seller. It was like Hooters, right? It was big when it was here, but when it all
No more
sunk in, they're
Hooters.
like, okay, well,
No more
the
Hooters.
food sucks.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Did you ever
right?
go to Hooters?
All the time when it was here.
All the time.
Right? All the time, right? But
There
it
was
was
only one,
here.
right?
Yeah, it was just the one on 72.
They don't even let you have Hooters.
You
out
didn't
here?
need them. Like you didn't need Hooters.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
you're talking about you're not talking about the girls. I was talking about. Yeah, it's because they say well, the ones I saw, they didn't even have them.
Oh,
Oh, they were flat chested?
Yeah,
at Hooters?
yeah.
But I thought that was the job description.
Equal opportunity employer.
Ah, jeez, this
God
country.
Damn it.
Yeah.
This country.
Hooters got woke.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Are you supposed to be wearing
Dressed
that?
like Canada, we hire hoes, dude.
Oh my God, yeah, bro.
Is there Hooters there? No.
In Canada? Oh yeah, they're big.
When's the last time you went?
Fucking college. It's been years. But my mom's come out to visit.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't really gone back as much. But I should go. Because like everybody's out there.
Yeah.
And they got Hooters.
And they got Hooters.
Yeah.
That's why we should all go.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of it and they put that the Korean barbecue, which also I've tried. I don't know if I went to a good place or not, but I felt like it was a lot of work
I think
for tiny pieces of food.
Korean barbecue first hit, there was the few. Those were the good ones. But then it got watered down, and it was like, well, there's 100 of them, right? And they're all that place now,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know what happened. I went to
But
one.
you're right. You're like, why am I doing all the work?
Yeah,
Like, that's your job. I pay you
Yeah.
to cook this food, but I'm doing
but
it.
I feel
right?
like you ordered.
And then they want a tip.
But
It's
I feel like you.
but I
you
did the
tip me,
work. You
bitch.
tip me, motherfucker.
But I feel like you order the food and it gets to you, and it's like a normal size, right? And once you cook it, then it goes.
Yeah.
And now you're like pinching food.
Dude, the first time I went to one of those, it was on a date, and I didn't know, like, how it was supposed to go.
Mm.
Like, I didn't know you were supposed to cook it. And
So you just waited
I just
there?
had to. I swear to God, I just sat there. They showed up.
Yo,
about
this is the weirdest sushi ever.
and I was like, I was looking at. I was like, I saw it. I saw this raw meat, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I was doing all like calculations like by the millisecond to try to like figure out what's going on so I don't look like an idiot.
Because God forbid we're gonna ask somebody like.
No, I can't do that. I'm on a date. I'm a guy. I can't ask. Excuse me. How do I do
Was it
this?
your choice?
I think we decided on it, but I pitched a couple here because this was my move.
Let me write this down.
Here's what because a lot of guys will be like, what do you want to eat? And you can't be doing that.
That's true.
You can't just, so what I'll do is I'll give them options. Give them a couple options. See, the illusion of free will. That's what I do. So I go like, hey, I'm thinking I like this kind or this kind of food. What are you thinking? And they go like, let's do this. And then boom, we got it. You know what I mean?
And if it sucks, it's their choice.
And exactly, if it's no
see
good,
what
it's
you're
like,
saying.
man, you really picked a shit
You're
place.
like, oh, hopefully sex is better than this.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, and then I kind of just waited to see her do something, and then she started it, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, obviously, and then I was all right. Yeah.
There's so fucking some weird places to eat, man. I went to. We talked about this before too. I went just in the last few months. It's my first time eating Indian food.
A few months ago.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
first time ever.
What'd you think?
It was good, but if you told me I'm sentenced to not ever eat it again, I'd be like, oh, that's fine. Maybe I didn't go to a good place. Like I'm saying, maybe
You can never have it again. You'd be all right.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it didn't blow my mind.
I like that it's. I like the heat. I like how spicy it is. That's what I like about it.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
You like Mexican food?
Oh yeah.
You go to Betos?
I got one. I mean, 3 blocks from my house.
Do you really?
Oh my god, yeah.
Freaking
Stopping
climb,
there
man.
on the way back.
You get burritos?
Yeah, I get burritos.
Okay. Here's the debate in this podcast: red sauce or green sauce?
Red sauce every time. Don't,
That's my boy,
come on.
dude.
What are we?
That's my
What
boy.
are we even doing?
Dude,
Green sauce is it's water.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that they
for
get.
socialists. Yeah.
Green sauce is a waste of plastic. Is
Yeah,
what it is.
exactly.
I say red sauce, red, and because a lot of the time they look at me, and they go, "He wants green."
Just give him the
And I-
mild one.
And I look, I go, "I want red.
Yeah.
I want a lot of red." And they go, "All right." And they give me green anyway.
He goes,
But
oh my god, they say, like, that's right. Give me that fucking
My
red
God.
sauce.
My
Is that why
God.
I get all the green?
yeah,
I don't know, but I tell you what, this guy is not enough with one. It's like give him a bowl of green sauce.
I'll drink it.
well, that's
Drink
all you
that
can
shit.
do because it doesn't serve any other purpose. You
That red shit's just as slimy.
You
No,
hydrate
it's not.
yourself.
Fucking- It's just as run.
There's
Although
flavor to it. It's good flavor.
I will just say, depending on what Betos you go to, it's
I know.
either mild or it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, mine are pretty mild. I feel like Mexican food, for the most part, in Utah, they tone it down a little
Oh,
bit.
there you go.
You
I
know
can see
that
that.
when they say it's hot, it's not that hot.
Yeah.
But Indian food, they don't fuck around. They're like
What's your favorite Mexican food? Mexican place?
out here.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be Beto's, dude.
That sums it up.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely had that the most, and I haven't been to a lot of actually more authentic ones, but
What's authentic here, though?
Um,
Javier's.
they closed, right? Remember we
I think
talked
they're
about this?
still in. Oh yeah, that's right. They just barely closed.
I mean, I hit a food truck too. If I see sometimes
well, that's a
just
go-to.
the,
That's a
right.
go-to.
or just the cart, you know.
Yo, wasn't this fucking taco stand by Sears famous
Yeah.
at one
Yeah,
point?
for many, many, many years. But I haven't been down there forever. I don't even know if it's even still there.
I don't think it's not a Sears anymore, is it?
No, it's not a Sears, but I think the building itself and the parking lot's still there. I'd be willing to bet that if you go down there, it's still. And maybe that's the hotbed for the carts where they're like, I'm going to start a business one day. I'm going to get a cart. I'm going
I'm gonna go to
end up.
Sears.
I'm going to start down here on California Avenue. I'm going to work my way up, and one day I'm going to
make
be
it
in the Sears
Sears.
parking lot. That's when you've made it.
Dude, my mom.
Grande.
Check out that view,
My
fellas.
mom
What do you think?
needs to give directions like I'm right by the S.
Yeah,
I'm right by
yeah.
the second S. But my mom lives in Daybreak, and in the park every Thursday they do a shit ton of all the
trucks?
food trucks go there. And I haven't been there yet, but I was working there and I never went. I'm pissed off, but
Damn, crazy story.
I know. So that's all the time we have. Things about.
I was waiting for the build up, and
Yeah.
no, that's it.
No, I was trying to. 'Cause we were talking about. Yeah, whatever. Fuck me. Sorry. Tell us a
think-
joke.
Thai food doesn't fuck around either.
I never had it.
They'll get hot on you. There's that chicken sandwich place by at the Gateway there at Hall Pass. They get
I told you about Hall Pass.
I forget what it's called, but it's blazing something. But they got the levels. They'll get you.
There's a Thai place
They'll get you.
like a rock stone throw away from my house, and it's authentic. It's so bad that when you go in, it's like, and I say this bad, that when you walk in, before you get there, you're like, all the windows are steamed up. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? And you walk in, it's like 1,000-degree difference
Oh, yeah.
in there. And it's always busy. And it's like they sell not only products to make Thai food, but the guy that runs it, and it has the best. They make a soup that is so fucking spicy, but it's a prime rib soup.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking fresh bean sprouts.
Come on now.
Big ass mushrooms.
You fucks with sushi?
Oh yeah, I get the spicy shit
My
too.
shit, dude.
I like that.
But what
You don't
makes
like
it
sushi?
spicy? What makes it spicy though? Is it the fucking
The sauce.
The
Yeah,
sauce or the fucking?
Sometimes they'll put
Well, it's not like they have spicy salmon. It's the
Right.
sauce.
No, I get that, but like when everybody says spicy, obviously I don't eat.
Some of us got
Is it
habaneros.
wasabi? Makes it the spicy?
No.
sometimes, but it'll just be like straight up, just like hot sauce on it too. They'll
Don't
put
they
like
use like a? It's not Cholula. What's the other one?
it's like not tapatio.
Yeah,
Is it?
something
No,
like
it's
that,
it's
something like
it's the one that's the red plastic's got the
Valentina.
chicken on it with the green tip.
But
It's
they
the big-
literally just make it like in a fashion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
fashion
yeah.
swoosh. You know, but you
swirl.
grab it and you go. Yeah.
I got you.
And it's, I don't necessarily partake of that.
I just
but It's
can't.
good.
I can't get over it. I've tried it 1,000 times, and it just doesn't appeal to me. It's that watery taste,
Like
Watery
oceany.
like that
Taste?
oceany, fishy, watery
Oh,
taste that
yes.
gets past. That
Seafood.
I can't get it past my fucking palate.
But I don't necessarily think the seafood, that the actual fish. I think is the,
No, that's a mind thing.
because my
It is.
because
It is.
my,
I know
my
it
ex-
is.
my
I know it
ex-wife
is.
would go and have it, and at one point she would be good with the raw fish, but she wouldn't do the paper. What's it called? The one
Seaweed.
The
That's
seaweed.
what fucks with
Oh,
me. It's that
seaweed.
fucking-
yeah.
So she would order.
I mean, dude, a lot of
soy
places
paper.
I've been to, like sushi restaurants, don't even have that seaweed wrap on them. Yeah,
What do they have?
it's just rice and then all the shit inside it.
Maybe that's what I need to try.
Yeah,
How do they-
because I like
it is the seaweed that fucks with me.
Yeah,
right
that's
out
no
of the
good.
get-go.
that's
'Cause
no good.
You don't like seaweed?
I don't mind.
I don't like it either. What the fuck?
I
People
don't mind
snack on it
salmon.
too.
I don't mind the smoked salmon. I quite think that's pretty good, but it's whatever else they put in it.
Is it called
Fucks
seaweed? Are
with
we
me.
talking about it right there?
Yeah, the little green,
the
very
seaweed
thin.
paper.
The little
Yeah.
square.
Yeah, people
black
snack
square.
on them too.
Fuck yeah, they do.
yeah.
They
It doesn't make any
fuck
Yeah,
sense.
we do.
No, that's no good.
A little
'Cause
salt.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm,
that's
I'm
no
with
good.
you though, because I don't really like fish, but I like salmon
Yeah.
if it's cooked, and then, but I do like sushi. So I think we got similar palate in that sense, because I'm with you all the way
But I'll
until
admit,
sushi.
it is in here.
Yeah.
You know, again, we did it on the podcast. I've
Yeah.
tried it, and I just like I don't hate it, but and nothing appeals like, oh, that sounds
Try a
fucking great.
try a
instant
Vegas
gagging.
roll. Try a Vegas roll.
So what's the difference between
'cause
like a
some of it- some
California
of it-
roll and a Vegas roll? And
But
then we
some
got
of
a
it-
fucking
some
Salt
of
Lake
it is
City
actual
roll.
what's in
cooked
it?
fish.
It's but the Vegas roll is like fried too.
Yeah.
It's like the orange chicken of
Oh.
sushi.
It's
You know
the
what I
white
mean?
people of sushi,
Exactly.
right?
No, try. I swear to God, try it because that's very tasty. There's like they put basically like fry sauce on it, and there's like whatever, a little bit of crab meat or avocado. It's good, dude. You'll like that. So next time you're getting it, look for the Vegas roll. That'll get you in the door,
Yeah.
and then you can.
Then you can explore.
Then you
Yeah.
can. Yeah. Then you get in
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Vegas roll will get you right.
Okay.
I've been trying to get him for so long.
That's the move. That's the one.
Maybe I'll take you on a date.
Why not?
Be like, where do you want to go? This is where I want to go, and I give you like 2 sushi
There
places.
you go. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I tell you, we used to go to this one place, this way back in the day, and it was I heard it was like acclaimed, like the place. Like you had to wait hours to get in there, and we would sit around this table, and I'm sorry, was not an Asian guy, it was a Mexican guy every fucking time.
Well, sure.
Right? They said this was the best, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay, but it's not like a fucking really good top sirloin. Oh,
You're all American, baby.
I am all American.
You're all American. You bleed red, white, and blue, baby.
America.
Yeah.
Yo, did you listen to the Hulk Hogan podcast?
Dude,
Joe
I haven't
Rogan?
listened to Joe Rogan in fucking since the 80s.
Dude, that-
Obviously, when I was a kid and I was a wrestling fan, like that was the extent of my wrestling career, right?
Yeah. You and that guy on the picture.
That's right. But he talked about a lot of crazy shit, and like Shab said, he was like, I didn't want to shut it off. Like I listened to it at home when I was cooking dinner. It was really fucking good.
How long is it?
It's about 2.5 hours long.
Man.
It was good.
Didn't he do? Wasn't the last Save the Parks.
I haven't
Our
listened
Parks
to it.
5
yet.
hours.
I haven't
or
listened
something?
to it yet.
Yeah, I missed
Those
a
are the
lot
best,
of
dude.
Rogans.
When I
though.
see those come out, I'm just like, oh fuck.
Dude, Shane Gillis is my favorite.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it goes Louis, Dan Soder, and Shane Gillis.
Dan
Pardon
Soder.
me.
Dan
Huh?
Soder was just
Oh,
on Bad Friends.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Those
right,
look
that's
funny,
right.
He's
too.
pretty good.
I
He's
bet.
pretty good. His voice, he's got that
Oh, he's the man.
raspy California,
Yeah.
like, of course you're funny, right? Listen to your
Same,
voice.
same
right?
as Adam. What's the other one? He's good friends with. He's good friends with Bobby and Rick Glassman. What's his? He always does the Dodge commercials, or like he's got that voice.
Adam Friedland,
No,
Corolla,
no.
Sandler.
I love that you're just spitting those out. Like it's fucking. I was thinking Levine. Or what's the guy that was in Workaholics?
Yeah,
Adam
Levine.
Nah, Levine.
Levine.
Yeah, not Levine. Levine.
Such a small difference.
Yes.
Such different guys.
Dude, is there when these out of towners acts come in, are you always there or not really, or you go out if you're not scheduled, you go out of your way to be there?
Well, I mean, if I'm not booked, or even if I am booked at like one of the other clubs, I'll hang out. I'll just go to the club to hang because it's a good hang.
Yeah.
And everyone's there, or there's usually comics there hanging.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a hub, this club here. Even like guys will do a show in Ogden or Jordan Landing, and we just kind of end up there and just hang,
Yeah.
have a little chat. But it's just that's my. It's like I'm home, or at Wise Guys. You know what I mean? Like I don't really go. But yeah, especially if it's somebody I want to see, I'm gonna be there for it for sure. But if it's someone I really want, then odds are I've asked to get on the show, and sometimes I do, and So, like I got to host for Dan Soder when he was here, and that was like a legitimate dream come true because he's like been one of my favorites for a very long time, and then to get to get to work with him, get to hang with him.
Yeah.
Like it was the coolest, man. Him and Sean Murphy, who he brought to open for him. He also opened for Mark Norman when he was here. He's cool. It's just a good hang. We were like smoke a joint together, and I was like, this is
Nice.
all I've wanted, dude. Like we're just we both had a bit where we do a Steve-O impression, and so we were just kind of going like, we were riffing in the green room.
nice.
We're doing Steve-O back and forth to each other, like, dude, it was great. And then going out, we got dinner after the shows one night. We watched a UFC fight the other night, like, and then at one point specifically when we're just standing on a street corner, kind of just sharing a joint, I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing. Like, I was like, oh my god,
Trey's like,
look at me. I know, I'm sharing a joint with Dan Soder. This is the coolest. It meant a lot to me. So yeah, when there's people who come out, I definitely try to get on
It's
this.
like, what's next? Louis gonna jack off in front of me.
Hopefully. I mean, shit, I would never snitch. I'd never snitch on you,
Oh,
daddy.
you would take it in.
Come
Hell
on.
yeah,
Give me a haul.
What else you got,
It'd be
baby
kinda funny
boy?
too, huh?
Yeah, give me a little bit of that goofy juice, man.
No, it was fun. It was fun last Saturday. You had a killer show. I would never
with
spoil
Callan,
anything.
yeah.
That belly button bit that you've got
Yeah.
right now is fucking stellar.
I know,
dude.
thanks,
Oh,
man. It's like my
man.
favorite. It's like probably one of my favorite one right now. It's so silly.
Yeah.
It's
It's so true. Everybody's been there. Everybody's been there.
I don't know. I mean,
I've been there.
even if
like,
you haven't,
oh,
though.
this is great. Wait, what?
yeah, exactly.
I wonder what's the percentage of
I don't know.
It's very small. I looked it up. It's very small.
Really?
Yeah, it's very small. But that's the thing is like it's not necessarily relatable on like a percentage
Yeah.
scale, but it's very silly.
Yeah.
And it's fun to imagine. You can very easily imagine it, even if
Absolutely.
you haven't been there.
Absolutely.
It's not a hard visual, and it's just so fucking silly.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love about it. It's like there's no underlying point or message. You know, a lot of people say like, oh, you know, there's truth behind every joke. Find the truth in that. I beg of you. Like that doesn't. It's just a silly, fun thing, you know. And yeah, it's just it was just one of those where I was just like in the car driving to probably a mic, and I was like, this be kind of silly. Just like, Audi belly button. And then I just like was just thinking of the scenario. And yeah, no, but it's like my favorite one right now to do. I've done it, and like
off, dude.
I can do it kind of clean too. Although it's like it implies sex. If I have to do it clean, I'll just, instead of, because the punchline is, you know, and then she fucked the shit out of me. But if I have to do it clean, I'll just say something like, and she gave it to me good, or I'll say like, I'm still sore from that one, and I'll rub my belly button, you know, because then it's just all up to them to fill in the blank, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's versatile. I like that about it too.
That's pretty cool. What happens with? So we went, just to give a little bit of intel. We went to see Brian Callen last weekend. Simmons was there with his wife. Brian Hellbach was there with his wife.
We brought the whole crew.
Yeah, and we got to see Trey open up for everybody, and then at the end, I thought that the meet and greet was going to be in the front where it usually is. So I was in the front with my bracelet.
Yeah.
And then I see everybody that's got the bracelet are coming out. Mm-hmm. And I go, well, where is this going to happen? So I finally asked the guy in the front door at the door, and I say, hey, so what about this? And he goes, oh, it's happening already. It's in the back where you came from. I was like, oh shit. So then I went. That's why I was the last one. Yeah. Because I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I thought it was. And the guy's like, you good? Come in. He's still got time. But what? So I was the last one. I'm thinking that if I'm not wrong, when I left, there was nobody left. But what happens after that? Are you hanging out with them, or is he the kind of guy that's like, oh, I'm done. I'm just going to the hotel. Or does he stay with his parents?
Yeah, he stays with his parents. Live out here, so he was staying with them.
You go to where your parents live. I'm just gonna stay at a hotel.
Yeah.
No, again, I saw him. It was a few years ago. The last time I saw him, and his parents sat right in front of me.
Oh wow.
And I mean, he made it apparent that this was his parents.
Fucking
like,
father.
Big Mike.
Yeah.
Like, I know that guy, right?
Yeah.
This is Saturday, right? You were there on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the folks came on Friday. First, I think, early show on Friday. Yeah, and they sit up in the corner, the little perch up there, and yeah, so they're cool. I've met his dad. Because Callan's come out like 3 times now. Yeah. Since I've lived out here, and I've hosted all of those.
Did you remind him of the time you met at the laundry? I think you were doing a show at the laundromat, didn't you? Laundromat. When he had chatted with you.
This is a Chinese restaurant. In
Laundromat.
Ventura.
Chinese restaurant. I mean, tomato,
so,
right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Please, thanks. Yeah, well, actually, the first time he came out here, I didn't have to. He remembered me.
He remembered you, huh?
Yeah, which was super cool. I was in the green room, and he came out of the. Or, I think Keith introduced us first, and then it was, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm hosting, all that stuff. This is, a couple years ago, I guess now, and then I'm just hanging in the green room, and he comes out of the other green room, second or private one. He comes out and he's like, "Are you that kid from Ventura?" Years ago, and I was like, "Yeah, dude." Like, I was gonna bring it up, of course. I was gonna bring it up.
Like that? You say it like that? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah! I probably said something like that.
We're smoking weed with soda.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, and then he remembered me, and then we so it was cool, and then every time since then, it's like this last time, I texted Keith and I was like, hey, if Callan needs a host or whatever, I'm around this weekend. I just let him know that I got the weekend open, and he's like, yeah, I'll text him and see. And then he told me that when he texted him, he's like, hey, we got this guy, Trey Lamb, he could host for you. And Callan's like, oh yeah, I love that guy, get him on the show.
Oh, nice.
And even Keith was like, hey, pretty cool. But so I've known Callan for like probably a good 5 years now, since that I guess 5-6 years now since that show in Ventura
Wow.
at the restaurant. But yeah, so after the shows, we were hanging, just hanging in the green room for maybe like an hour or two. We didn't really go out much. We didn't go out at all. But then Saturday night, we were in the green room for a while because he had like the Black Rifle guys
Yeah.
were there. And so all of us were just hanging for a good while. But plus the meet and greet can take a little bit too. But yeah, so, and then, yeah, Callan's got to drive. It's like they're in Park City, so he's got a ways to go. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, everyone's kind of different. Sometimes we hang, sometimes we don't. But sometimes we'll go, a lot of the time we'll go up to About Time upstairs.
Yeah.
The staff will go too. But yeah, that's how that went. His parents are cool. I've met him a couple times. Someone ripped ass in the green room, and I was like,
My bad, dude.
I was
Just
so
kidding.
annoyed with. I'm just like, fucking old people, dude. Like they just have just no regard for the space, you know.
But hey, I can't wait to get to that time, right?
Yeah, what are you,
I
Oh my
can't
God,
wait.
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Wait.
What are
Yeah.
you gonna do, bitch?
I steal batteries and I fucking fart in green rooms.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I steal better. And I even said to Nick, who was the feature, and I was like, someone ripped that? He's like, oh yeah, dude. He's like, yeah.
Yo, he's
That's a
he's a
beefcake.
beefcake, that guy.
Yeah, he's built.
Yo,
Oh, he's built, baby. And
I-
just a couple little legs under him too.
Yeah,
Just
he does.
Some real little legs.
my wife's like, looks great, this much up. What happened down there? I'm like, I didn't look down there. I
Yeah.
was mesmerized by this, right? She's all,
Yeah.
does he skip leg days? I'm like, I
Oh, it
don't know.
looks like he looks like a cartoon. Looks like
He
a
looks
meme.
like Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, yeah.
If he was blonde.
Yeah.
Because Johnny Bravo is a triangle. dude.
Yeah.
When he talked about the sculpting his body and he dropped that, I says, oh, that's all I've wanted to hear was somebody drop that word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like, my night's made. Somebody did
We
it.
can go now.
Yeah, we're fine, right?
Who else?
He had some good. Yeah, he had some good. I like the something about the non-binary or the when the his conspiracy friends are like they
Yeah.
don't realize how woke they
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
'Cause they'll be
yeah.
like, they killed Kennedy, huh? Oh, I didn't know you were so progressive.
Yeah, I was asking, not asking. I was watching your last episode. I think it was the last episode you had the guest that I just asked you about.
Yeah.
And you guys were going off of the list of people that you have seen,
Yeah.
and I don't want to talk about this because it's on your podcast, but it's like
Deadbeat Son.
Yeah, the Deadbeat Son. How many episodes?
52, 3.
Goddamn.
That's
Goddamn.
right, dude. When you were here, you were in the tens, I think.
Shit.
That's time, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we celebrated a year.
But you were like saying like, "Oh, I went and saw so and so, and I didn't like it." And then your guest was like, "Oh yeah, I remember. We went and saw so and so, and it's like, I didn't have it." I was like, I was wondering if that's like an actual conversation that happens. But when you open for these acts, who do you say that to besides her? Like, do you
All the comics.
discuss this with like local comics?
Oh, yeah, because they're all my friends,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so we'll be hanging there. We'll just be talking shit. And it's like, yeah, fucking this guy's here. And it's like, man, it's just, yeah, sometimes, you have this idea of these people just from what you've seen and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And then you meet them and you're like, oh, you're this is kind of who you
so
are.
Disappointing.
Sometimes like with Soder and Mark Normand and all these guys, it's like, and like Santino, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And it's,
It's what I expected. It's what I
yeah,
thought
or
it would
sometimes
be,
even
right?
more,
Even better, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yes, you're who I hoped you were. And then but then there's those people who you're like, Jesus, man. Like, why are you being like this? Some of them are just like divas if they get rich enough or famous enough.
That's like you.
And some people are, and then, some people like, they're, the stuff they're talking about, like the jokes are just like very basic and it's just kind of weak. and the topics are like so overdone, they don't have an original take on it, you know, and like that contributes. And it's like, because being in it now, I have a better understanding of like what it takes to write a really good original joke. And then I also see a lot of people phoning it in and like, or just doing the basic, like the very surface level kind of joke to make about a certain topic, you know. And then when you see like these big names doing that, it's like, shit, dude. It's as frustrating as it is encouraging, because it's like, really, this is all it takes to get, this is all they're doing, and they have all this. But it's also like, holy shit, if that's all it takes to get all this, then I'm gonna be all right, you know.
Right.
It's like constantly, you know, going between those.
Is the writing process like a secret thing for each individual, like how much you make or whatever, you know, like that kind of?
What do you mean, how much you make?
No, like I'm saying, like, is it that kind of a? Does it go into that category of like, oh, I don't talk about how much? That's like how I do things, you know. And does that keep it
Like how
Are
you
you
write?
talking money or
No,
writing?
I'm talking about like writing comedy.
okay.
Because I was just hanging out with a friend of
I
mine.
was with you on that one.
I was just hanging out with a friend of mine last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, and we were talking about comedy, right? And we were like, oh, you know, it'd be fun to do it. A friend of ours did it, Dalton, and I said I would like to try it. I just don't know how to put it together.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's the route to go, or that's the route to take to be like, okay, so this is my story. How do I make it funny? And does it have to be a true story? Does it have to be a made up story? Does it have to like how do I find my punchlines? But I always, like, I think we talked about this a little bit in the last episode, but you kind of told us how you do it, but it's not like you didn't give us details, and I wasn't going to ask either. But I always wonder how someone's writing process is.
From point A to point B.
Yeah, and if it's a secret thing, is that something that you guys don't talk
No,
about? Or?
well, sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead.
Well, first, no, it's not a secret thing, nor should it be, because it's like we're all trying to figure this thing out. No one's perfect at this, you know, and even like the greats, like Louis, I feel like, you know, if you asked him how he writes a joke, it's like, it's not, I don't think there is a secret, even if someone had one or thought they did. It's all just the same. And so like in your case, if you're like, I'll take you through like one of my things, but like, but first,
Exclusive.
yeah, oh yeah. But first, I'll tell you that like if you're thinking about doing it, like all those questions you have, it's like I'm still asking those questions of like what kind of jokes should I be writing. It's getting more clear, but I'm also I'm in my 10th year of doing this, so like so you just gotta do it once. Just do it once, and like a lot more of it like will make sense to you after you do it. Because like you have people, you know, a lot of times will tell me after shows that they want, oh yeah, I've been thinking about trying it, and everyone's got a half hour of material before they start. Everyone's like, yeah, I got about a half hour ready to go. I just never tried it. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. But like, I always tell them, just do it. Just do it once, and then you'll be like, oh, this is what it is. Because you can't imagine it. Yeah. You know, you can think about it, and we all did before we started. You think about it, but then once you start doing it, it's like, oh, okay. And then all those questions, you're still asking them for years. But that's why you got to try out all the different kinds of jokes. You know, that's what I tell guys who are starting out in their first few years. It's like, they're like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out my style. I'm like, don't. Just write every kind of joke there is, you know. The people that you like, you know, if you like a certain way they tell a joke, you can try to, you know, do something like that. We all kind of imitate our favorite comedians when we first start, you know. But like, just do every kind of joke, and then over time, yeah, you'll figure out like, oh, I'm better at these kinds of jokes, or here's this kind of joke, and you know, and you don't necessarily have to tell your story. It's a good place to start from, because it's your experiences, and odds are people will relate to some stuff, but like, you know, there doesn't have to be a point or a story. Like the best example is like, look at Jim Carrey. Like, there's no point to the shit that he was doing. It's not like he's not making an argument. He doesn't have anything to say. He's just making crazy faces and doing shit, you know? So there's no way to do it. You just got to keep doing it, and you start to figure out like what works for you, you know? But yeah, like when I'm writing a joke, so like I told you about the belly button one, like that was straight up just like, sometimes, you know, jokes will just hit you
When you're driving down the street,
I'm just driving, and I'm just like fucking thinking
there might
about
be something there.
whatever. Yeah. Like I think the idea started out with like, I don't know, just thinking about, I don't know, I guess, you know, some chick's body, and then if like the belly button were more noticeable, and then. Because I'm what they call a munch.
Okay.
Also, which is a new term.
I watch that kind of porn sometimes.
And it's guys, it's just guys going down, just eating box.
Oh,
right?
I was talking about chicks, not dudes. So,
guys
anyway, continue.
eating ladies. Oh yeah, but I'm the munch. So.
Okay.
So I'm eating box all the time, and night and day. And so then it's just
Bless your
because
heart.
I've made that.
Tell us those secrets too.
I've made,
I want to learn how to do it.
Is that in your book too?
yeah, it's all just crude drawings of vaginas.
Licking patterns.
Yeah, you're just like, but you're like, is it? They're really poorly drawn too. It's just stick figures with stick figures with a super realistic vagina.
Some of them are X'd out because it just didn't work out.
Yeah. All right. Fucking.
So what's a munch?
A munch is a new term for guys who go down on women.
Okay, so it is what it is. Okay.
So us.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're munching, right? So I'm eating box.
It was in my life. We were muff divers, right? Because it was. I grew up in an era
that's
there was still
good.
the muff, right?
Yeah, sure,
You
sure.
say, what is it?
A muff diver.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
A muff diver.
So okay, we've existed for centuries, for generations.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've made that descent
Okay.
where you're just kissing on the belly and then you keep on going, right?
Yeah.
You never go straight for it.
We've all been there. Well, sometimes.
You gotta
Yeah,
warm the
sure.
oven, right?
Sometimes. Well, yeah. Well, sometimes you go for it, sure, if the mood strikes, you know. But a lot of the time, it's a smooth descent, and then it was just like, oh, you know, it'd be kind of funny if she had an Audi, and like you felt it. And then I was driving to a mic, I remember, and I just started saying that, and yeah, and then it got a laugh, and I was like, okay, I definitely got something with this. And then, but I didn't have an ending to it, and so, and I just kind of sat there thinking about it. I was watching clips or recordings of me doing it, not eating box, but of me doing the joke.
It's all Audi porn.
Yeah, Audi porn. Yeah, and then, I mean, this was, I guess, kind of just from experience and just writing a lot of jokes. It's like, it just kind of makes sense. And a lot of my jokes, the joke's on me at the end.
Right.
Even if it involves a woman in something, it's like, joke's on me. I'm gay, or she thinks I'm a lesbian, or she, you know. But then, and also I've got jokes about getting pegged or women wanting to peg me. I haven't been. Don't worry. But
Hey, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, this is the place we're all about that.
Oh, okay.
Come on, hey, calm down. It's all-
Yeah. You whistle at her. Yeah. But a lot of them have offered it to me, and I have whatever jokes about that, and so I guess that was kind of in my head a little bit, and when I came up with the punchline of like, and then she fucked the shit out of me. Or yeah, and then I was thinking like before that, I guess it was like, okay, so what's a silly thing really? And it's like the only thing I could think of was if she put her Audi into my innie. It's just a very silly thing. And then yeah, she fucked the shit out of me. But like I'm working on one right now about and it's just the idea about how I can only think of two types of Germans. Nazis and German techno guys. And just how different those are, I think is funny. But then also so right now I'm trying out taking the route of I'd say like the similarities, what they have in common. They both wear a lot of leather. They both kind of do gay shit, and then neither of them like Jews, and that's done okay at best so far. I've only tried it a couple times, but and it fucking bombed last night. But and then it's and then I play with the voices too. I go like it's either their Germans are either like Ich vernichten sing sang sing nein or they're like und ja feel the bass in your bones. And I think that's very funny, or I think it's very silly to play with the voices like that, and then
The bass.
yeah. And then it's like, and then I say something like, if only the Nazis had discovered this techno music before they did the Holocaust, it'd be a lot cooler. Like instead of like gas.
Man, you were tiptoeing on that fucking fence so hard right now, which I love, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's a little iffy, but yeah, like and then I said, or last night I tried, instead of gas chambers, it's just like fog machines. And strobe lights, and then they're like, oh yeah, I feel it, and that's all I have for it so far, and so I'm gonna keep trying that out, and kind of seeing what works better.
Yeah,
We got one,
you got
yeah.
your first fan.
So, and I don't have an ending to it. I don't know how I'm gonna end it, but if I think about it, it'd be.
So at this point while you're working it, how do you end it? Do you just move on to
Part
the
of
next?
the craft, though,
I
right?
kind of just like I say all of the stuff I just
And then you
told
just
you,
move on?
and then I'll sit there and maybe I'll riff a line or a new line if I think of it, or I'll just like last night was it or Tuesday, whenever the first time I tried it, I just literally said I don't have an ending for this yet, and then I just move on. But and I got the idea for that because I was driving. And I played Cascada every time we touch. Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling. And then and I was kind of just thinking
Well,
about.
you got that from that?
Yeah, because I was thinking about because I was like, I was with my girlfriend, and I was just being goofy.
Jesus Christ.
And I was just being goofy, just trying to get a laugh, I guess. And as it was playing, I was like really intensely, just like, to Cascada, and then that made me think of like people who do that, and then it made me think of German techno guys, and I was like, oh, I guess there's only two types of Germans, and then
And the rest.
and then we go,
God damn it, that's a good explanation. So
You carry that everywhere.
everywhere,
Everywhere.
yeah, everywhere.
And just constantly just writing just
Yeah,
down an
because if I
idea.
get an idea, I don't want to write it in the phone because I don't like having my phone on stage.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a notebook. I don't know why. But
No, we saw Mark Norman a few
Yeah.
years ago. He pulled out a pad and I says,
Yeah.
oh, here we go.
Yeah.
yeah,
And some people a true comic fan may go, oh, well, I just wanted to see that. But somebody that really appreciates, like, I love to see the development of something.
yeah.
And then one day on a special or
progress.
something, like, oh, I saw that when it first started. That's fucking...
I'm right there with you, bro. I
It's the
love
start of
seeing it.
I mean, we could talk MMA. It's like you see a guy in the little leagues, right? And he builds up and he makes it to the big show, and you're like, oh, I saw that. It's the same fucking thing. Right?
Yeah.
I love it because it's like, it's very humbling, when they're like trying stuff out, and even if it's not that good, I would see, like, I remember like Mark will do that, Sam Morril, and I would see it and it's like, oh, they're no different. I'm doing the same shit.
Right.
And it made me feel good to be like, yeah, man, they gotta try it out too. I just got this idea, I don't really know. And then I was like, oh fuck yeah. So I'm doing the thing,
Yeah.
Like I remember I saw Bill Burr do like a theater gig in Santa Barbara when I was in college. And yeah, he brought out a notepad, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, that's so sick. However, you know, I'll say sometimes there is like the showmanship. We're starting to lose the showmanship of a comedy show. And I was just talking to Keith about this because of like clips, like online, how important that is. I guess now, a lot of comedians they'll do their hour or whatever, and then they'll do a 20 minutes of Q&A, you know, where it's like, just yell something out and we'll talk about it. Right. It's cool for clips, and it's cool for if you like that part of it, of just seeing them kind of work. But there's also something about, you know, seeing the guy you came to see.
Improv doing something, right?
Well, just seeing the act, the way it's meant to be done. And then it's like, there's something to that, like going along this journey, whatever, with them, and they end it strong. They end with the, you know, fucking closer that just crushes. Thank you, good night, and they're gone. And then you leave with that feeling of like, wow, that was something, man. And then, or you know, you leave wanting more. Yeah. But I feel like when they do that extra 20 minutes of just like, all right, what are we doing? It really does. And you'll see people will start leaving during that part, and it's like, that's not how you want to end a show. Yeah. I get it on the road, if you're doing, you know, if you're working on stuff, you got to work on stuff. But I don't know, I've been thinking about that lately. 'Cause I mean, you know, I love the guy, but I think Callan should have ended his set one joke early. Like when he's
one of my top 10 favorite comics, and I said when he came out, he was throwing flames.
Yeah,
he was just fire, and I thought, oh, it's Callan. And then we got to that point, and it was like, well, I didn't come here for a philosophy gig at the end, but I enjoy listening to him because the way he talks, and he's fast. You can tell he's a very smart individual. Right. But I thought probably could have ended this about
the one with his kid. When he's talking about his kid getting in the car. Wait, before you get mad, let me check the glove box. Oh, no fucks in there either. Thank you, good night. So like, you would have left being like, oh my fucking God, dude. Like, you know, he didn't do the Q&A, but like a lot of them do. And it kind of takes away, I feel like, from that feeling of like, wow, that was we just watched a real pro.
Even the greats, when you watch them pull out and I watch clips, and I've only seen a few live pull out the notepad, but they're so fucking good at when something bombs, they take the uncomfortableness and they can still make it funny. Yeah. That one fucking sucked or whatever. And it's just like, you're so good, you still get a laugh out of bombing something horribly bad, right?
Yeah, that can be done well, but it can be overdone pretty quickly too. And it's like, well, you are just bombing the whole time, then, right? Even if you're saying, oh, you didn't like that one. I try not to do that. I'll do it maybe. Yeah, I'll do it sparingly, but like I try to avoid saying things like, prefacing it with like, I'm doing new material, or I'm trying this one out, or even after a joke when you say like, oh, that was new. A lot of guys do that, especially at like open mics, you know. And I tell them, don't do that. Like, fucking own it, own the bit. If it sucked, fucking sit there in the silence, take it in the gym. Yeah, and then like, don't try to, you know, lower the bar for yourself. Because otherwise you're not going to get a good idea of if the joke is good or not. You got to come out and you got to do it the way you think it ought to be done, and not be like, yeah, well, you know, go easy on me. It's like, you know, a lot of people, and I get it. A lot of people, when it's their first time, they like to go like, oh, this is my first time. It's like, don't even do that. You know, just go up there. If you're trying to be the guy, be the guy. But to your point, you have to acknowledge it in some way. Otherwise, like if you're bombing, you got to acknowledge it in some way. Otherwise, it looks really bad. If you're just bombing and then you just keep going into the set, like you have to, if there's something in the room, you got to acknowledge it. And if you're the thing that's making the room weird, you have to, because it's a live event, and you got to keep it like that. You know, it's not like they're watching a TV show that sucks.
Right. A sitcom, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any jokes that you wrote years ago, and when you watch maybe a video of yourself or something reminds you of it, you go, oh, and something you haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
Do you ever bring that joke back and add stuff to it? Or when you write a joke and it's the bit, you lay it to rest?
No,
and then you come up with more and more.
No, that's great. No, I've done the thing. I've because I number all of my notebooks. So this is number 12. And so I'll go back to the early ones. I've gone back to the 1 and 2, and I'll look through it, and most of it is complete dog shit, you know. And but there'll be a couple where I was like, oh, actually I had something here. I just didn't know how to do it the right way, or I wasn't as good of a writer, And I've brought a couple of them back and
resurrect some oldies.
Yeah. Sometimes all it takes is if I had there's one where it's I had to add 3 words. I had to add just a little thing, and it made the joke deliver a lot better. Or sometimes I rewrote a punchline, or sometimes it's oh shit, this could be a callback to this new one I just wrote, or stuff like that. So, but rest assured, most of it is complete trash. And there's I'm looking at this what the fuck was I doing, man? But yeah, then there's also there's this new kind of, it's at the Comedy Store. They're doing this show. It's got a theme where it's exactly that. Comedians go up with their first or their early notebooks, and they got to do jokes from that. And I guarantee a lot of them are going well, you know what? That's actually not that bad.
Wow.
Yeah. But
because I'll bet it's hard to put a really good bit to rest, especially if you're always coming up with more and more and more, and then while you're driving, you go, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's also kind of case by case a little bit too, because there's some guys or some people it's kind of an old school style, back in the 80s and shit,
one just the set, that's it, and you run it for 10, 12 years, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back then, all you had to do was come up with 45 minutes of material.
You got a sitcom, and then you could just run for 10 years
exactly.
on that. Yeah.
But, and I think that just depends on how you view comedy. Like I said, Louis' my favorite, so I'm always trying to write new shit and always trying to get to the better joke. I think it was Sam Morril's opener, Gary Veter, told me the joke is never done, and that's something that we know as comics it's old lore, I guess, is that the joke is never done. No joke is ever perfectly set and whatever, so so there are times where it's there are times where I started working on a joke, and then I was you know what, I got nothing for this, and so I just put it on to the side for a while and go back to it later.
I figure that's why female comics are so good, because they can just dig up the past. All that shit. Sorry,
hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
That was the most ignorant shit I've ever said, right?
That's all the time we have.
This just turned into the Hulk Hogan Rogan episode.
I always wonder how to do it, how to sit down and put it together.
Have you ever tried to write anything down? We talk about it all the time. Obviously, it's our life.
Yeah.
Comedy, we love podcasts, but it always comes back to that. And we've talked a million times. We'd love to have more comics come to this. But I'm have you ever sat down and just wrote it down?
Because I
try it.
I feel like
I'll let you do it in front of me.
I feel like you probably heard all of the fucking stories. No, because I feel like here, and I think this is one of the questions that are brought to Keith when we did the podcast with him back in the 60s. Because when we come here, you and I talk about things that we'd lived through, right? Yeah. Whether it's our past. I mean, this last couple episodes we were talking about me living in Mexico with my grandparents and all that stuff, and then you and your grandparents, your mom and all that. But because of the type of podcast that we have, we try to make it funny, right? So you look for the funny stuff. That
Yeah.
Before I tell the story, I know exactly the voice that I'm gonna do, or how I'm gonna take this so it makes a funny turn.
Yeah.
So how do I? My question has always been like, okay, so how do I do that with like to the people?
I would assume, and you could ask the pro, like
Yeah.
we do it every week. We come up and we laugh, and people laugh,
Yeah.
and people tell us they enjoy it, right? But what if you took that bit that you talked about, wrote it down, and then you polished it from there, and then
Yeah.
added to it, and focused on that instead of, hey, there's this story, now we go to the next, and then we go to
Yeah.
the next, and that's a forgotten deal, right? He's just writing that stuff down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then he's working it and working it.
What's your take on?
I gotta pee.
Yeah, go ahead.
Am
dude.
I good?
Yeah.
What's your take on doing your bits and putting them on social media, for example? Does that take away? Because I understand the goal is more people to see you, right?
Yeah.
More people to watch you.
Yeah.
But as a comedian, does that? I understand that it's feeding you on one side, but is it taken away from the other side?
I get what you're saying, and it's something that I talked to with other comics who are doing the same thing. Some people, okay, a lot of guys do crowd work clips, right? And they don't post material. When I started putting out clips, I saw this. I see all my friends putting out crowd work. And so part of me was like, well, I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing because we're comics.
Yeah.
That's kind of in our nature, right? I'm not going to just do what everyone else is doing. Also, I'm not good at crowd work. So I don't have any good clips.
Yeah.
I got material.
Although you roasted that guy in the first row with the flip flops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you know what's funny is that to me it's hilarious because he's a germaphobe, so he has a thing with feet. And he before anything started, he was freaking out that the guy across the hall from him,
Yeah.
he literally took his shoes off and was just like this.
Oh,
And
gross.
he's like, "Did you see this fucking guy right
Yeah,
here?"
yeah,
And
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
it's like, I mean, I won't do it, but I'm like, it's not a big of a deal. But for him, it's like the end of the world.
Right.
dude.
That's funny.
So for you to bring up the fact that the guy in front of that guy that I'm talking about
Yeah.
have flip flops on.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and that's because I'm trying to get more comfortable with doing crowd work. So I'm making the effort.
Yeah.
When like every time I'm doing a mic, and then on a lot of the shows that I do, I'll try to do crowd work. And if I got nothing, fuck it, fall back on the material, But I try to get some more crowd work, and not just for clips, but because it is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. Like when I did those Rickles shows, and when I did those shows at the what? You made a face when you came in here.
Right.
No.
I walk out of the bathroom. I'm like, that guy's walking up here. He's like, nice shirt. Now, if anybody knows,
Oh, yeah.
a true MMA fan, this is an original
How
Tri-Costa
old is that shirt,
Korean
Sexy?
zombie shirt. I mean, when he broke out into the scene, word be known, and look this up if you don't believe me, this is the most, what is it called when somebody makes a pair of Nikes and then somebody makes them and they're fake?
Replicas?
Replica, not even a replica, but like a counterfeit.
Counterfeit.
This is the most counterfeit shirt in MMA history, and this is an OG original one.
Yeah.
He's
Damn.
like, oh wow, look at that shirt. I'll bet you this shirt's probably 15 years old. Anyway, continue.
That's sick.
Anyway,
Uh,
he's a what the fuck are
crowd
we
work.
talking
We're
about?
talking about crowd work. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to do more crowd work. That's the point. I don't think that posting my material online takes away from anything. If anything, because I'll post jokes that are not done yet, because I'm still working on them. If I got something, fuck it, throw it up. It's a clip. And also, if someone recognizes a joke, more often than not, they're psyched about it. because maybe they brought a couple friends. They're like, dude, this is this is the one I was telling you about, or this is the one I sent you. You know, like I've even had people come up to me after a show and be like, dude, you didn't do that one joke. What the fuck? I wanted to see you do that joke. So like they're psyched about it, you know. But it's also because I'm always writing. I'm always trying to come up with new shit, and I'm working on it. So when like other comics would tell me like, yeah, I don't want to post material because I don't want to burn anything. I don't want to burn material by putting up clips, you know. And I would say, burn material for what?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are we?
Yeah.
We're not. What do you got, a special you're working on?
Yeah.
Like you've been doing comedy for 5 years. Like relax. You're not gonna burn anything. And then also, at the end of the day, I'm gonna write more.
Right.
If I was one of those guys who had the same hour that they're doing at every single gig and every single thing,
Doc, right?
yeah, exactly. Like then you might have a problem. But I got faith in myself that I'm always working on new stuff. I'm always trying it out. I'm getting better at crowd work. So the show is gonna be different than than the last one a little bit.
The fact that you can take social media and embrace it like that way, like all it's gonna do is just bring more eyes to me.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And not be afraid, because like you said, I'm not gonna be stale. Like, love that joke. Show it to your friends. When you come back, maybe we'll do that, maybe we won't. But at the end of the day, you'll all come see me, right?
That was like a
Just
question.
getting me out there to everybody else.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my kid.
It's that time to wrap this shit up.
No, because the question when you walked away was like, how do you feel about putting material on social media?
It's my favorite thing. When I see,
no, I know,
when I see clips,
but
right?
But we're the consumers.
As a fan,
We're the,
as a fan, right?
We're the consumers.
That's my favorite thing when I'm like, oh, what is this? And I watch the
and
30,
like Norman
40
has a
second clip.
shit ton of them too. But and you know him is just like spit firing, right?
But him and Sam will do this thing. They'll post the same clip, the exact same. It's the same joke from the same late night set. They're in the same suit. They'll post it like, a year out or months out and everything. And
But back to what you were saying, it's funny how if I watch a special of one of my favorites, for example, right, and I've heard the jokes, I'm still gonna watch.
Absolutely.
Like if a person comes here, or like after the special, for example, they just come here and let's just say one of them is just trying to throw a joke. I'm like, in my mind, I go, oh, I've heard this. But it doesn't take away for me.
So you go to a
Right.
Metallica concert, they play Enter Sandman, you're like, fuck,
I've
man,
heard
this
it.
fucking shit, right?
yeah, I mean, with music, it's so different. Yeah, it's so
But
weird.
still,
But
it's
there's
the one
similarities.
thing that grabs you. They're like,
Yeah.
takes you back, or,
Yeah.
or I remember this.
This is one
like,
of the ones I
hey,
came
listen,
for.
This is the one I came for,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. To a point, though, because there are
Yeah.
guys in this scene who have been doing this longer than I have, who will do the exact same shit every time. And people, customers, audience members have come up to me and been like, hey, man, finally a funny host. They're like, I've seen... He's like, one guy even said, he's like, I don't want to cause any drama between the comedians. I was like, fucking do it, dude. Like, hit me. Tell me who sucks, And he was like, I've seen so-and-so probably like 15 times. And I know his whole set by now,
But
That's no good. You don't want that.
Is that the large majority of people? Or the
No.
people that, and I say this because we talk about guys like love comedy, follow everybody, and yeah, I could tell you that set. Or is it the larger number, the 70% that thrive off that shit, right? And that's what makes them big, right?
Yeah. It's probably a pretty high percentage of comedians who are doing that shit, who are just doing the same. But it's
And I'm talking about the audience themselves, like the people that will say, man, I could tell you every word that he had said because that's all we've done over and over again. But the same people that come like, oh, it's my favorite one, yeah.
right.
They don't mind seeing the same stale shit over and
I think
over and over
I
again.
think there's a limit to that.
Yeah.
I think if it's a joke or a particular bit or story that, you know, reoccurs here and there, that's okay. But when it's the same thing and you're like, oh, and he's gonna do this one, oh, and now this one, and then this one, that gets old. And this guy was complaining to me about it. He was not happy. He's like, I've seen this guy so many times and it's the exact same thing. I'm tired of it. I think that does take away from it. And I think a lot of people do it. It's a complacency issue is what it is. It's like, it's people who have found a comfortable spot in a scene where they can get stage time pretty regularly, and it's good, you know, it's good quality stage time out here. So, you know, or maybe they know a particular owner of a certain club somewhere, and they're like, you know, I don't have to work hard because I'm gonna get the spots, you know. One time I was up in Ogden and I was setting up my camera before my set. This woman's sitting nearby. She sees me and she leans over and she's like, hey, just want to let you know, my husband and I have seen you like 14, 15 times, and we love you. We think
want
you're
to come
so
back to our hotel room afterwards?
Oh, dude, I wish.
Is that what it was?
They're
He
like,
said he wished.
yeah,
She was
they're
hot.
like, we you know, we think you're so funny. We love you. And I was like, hey, great, right on. But all I heard, what I
I've seen
heard
you 14
was,
times.
I've seen you 14 times. And I took that as like,
Yep.
fuck, she knows.
Oh, shit.
She's got to know all of my shit. Especially in Ogden, I got to be clean. I only have so
Yeah.
many clean
Yeah.
jokes.
You have to be clean in Ogden?
Yeah, usually. You can, it's like PG-13, but so you got to be mostly clean.
Right.
And especially, and then it depends on the headliner too. If they're clean, then you're clean. It's not like Dry Bar. I've hosted Dry Bar. That's cleaner than clean. What you thought was clean is no good.
Really?
It's got to be like, oh, it's crazy. But it's good for me ultimately to have to write clean.
Just makes you a better comic. You
Makes
have
you
variety.
better. You have to be more clever. The writing's got to be better. Also, that's where the money's at
Yeah.
in comedy.
That's what you said last time
is
you were
being
here.
clean. Yeah. So I'm actually talking to a guy who's like gonna get me in touch with a cruise ship agent.
A cruise ship.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You would think that those wouldn't be clean though, right? Everybody's drinking. Everybody's
well,
importing.
it's because it's
old
all
Oh, there's
ages.
kids there too.
There might be kids.
right.
There are
Yeah,
some. There are some that are like that though, that are chill. But
the orgy ones like you go to, right?
Yeah, but like the ones with kids, yeah, you gotta be. It's also it's a nightmare scenario
Next
because
thing you
it's
know,
just.
Trey's going to be on the fully loaded fucking.
Oh, that'd be so sick. But yeah, so. Yeah, that's where the money's at. So. Yeah, you know, I've gotten better with clean stuff, and even the stuff that I was doing before, it's like. You know, it wasn't. Like the dirtiest part was just me swearing.
Right.
It's like, you know, they're not particularly too like raunchy or like violent or inappropriate or whatever, like, you know, something like that. So
Saying that, when you started in LA and then you came to Utah, was it like a culture shock? Like, oh shit.
I mean, from LA for sure, but like I'm from Canada, so I'm from Winnipeg, which is like dead center of Canada. So this Utah kind of reminds me of home, if
Basically.
You know
anything.
what's in Winnipeg? Peg. That
I
means you gotta
know,
get
I
pegging,
know.
dude.
You know,
Is that a callback?
They're called peggers, people from
There you
Winnipeg,
go.
and I have which is why you should always pick your own nickname before someone else picks it for you.
Yo, but let me ask you this: is you say you make good money being clean? Is that here in Utah or is it everywhere?
No, it's like across the board. Like if you're not famous,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't have like a huge podcast, or if you don't have like, if you're not touring with fucking Bert Kreischer and all this,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
we're talking, and a lot of them have done this too. Corporate gigs, private gigs, company parties, these kinds of things. They pay very well, and yeah, a lot of the time, you can't. It's very specific on like what you
Yeah.
can say. You know.
Oh, you should get it for your next company party, dude.
You want to come do company to corporate gig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck it. How much?
Yeah.
No,
You can't say that.
Forget.
Oh,
though. You can't say that.
never mind.
Dude, today was
I'm good.
picture day. I got the text yesterday from, because now we're working, so we work in the same company, but now we're working
So he's my office next to me.
Yeah.
So I hired him as I didn't
Assistant.
hire him. He applied for it. He earned it, and he's the assistant to the job that I do. So not only do we podcast here, we
podcasting
podcast all day
Monday to
long, Monday
Friday.
through Friday, right?
Yeah.
Saturday too, last Saturday.
But continue.
So I got the text late, about 8-ish last night. He goes, hey, tomorrow is going to be a picture day. So, because I'm usually rocking a hat.
Sure.
And he's like, no hats, slacks. Business attire. I was like, how much business attire are we talking about? He's like, I was told tie and what was it? Slacks.
Tie and slacks. Now this
Something
is
with
for
buttons, yeah.
what this is for is we're all tied together through an email network, and so as you click on an email, there's a picture that pops up, so everybody sees. And we work for a very, very large company, worldwide. I mean, we're in multiple countries, multiple states. So when the email pops up from somebody within the organization, you get a picture. And for the longest time, I've drug my feet. I'm like, oh, I got the pink whatever with the JS on it. And
Yeah.
that's all I've done. Nobody's ever made me change it.
Sure.
Times have changed. So they said, hey, it's picture day. Everybody has to have a picture tied to your email and some other stuff that we have within the organization. So I told Angel, I'm like, business attire. No hats, nothing like that.
Gotta let this fucking forehead fly,
I says,
dude.
you gotta let that
a lot of
5 head
real
rock.
estate. Yeah.
It's not a 4 head, it's 5 head.
It's prime real estate
But
up
I
there.
can't.
Yeah.
Looks good from here, though.
Like the planes up there.
Hey, dude, are you getting back at me for the
up?
shit?
What's
And
up?
I'm the generous.
I think I saw a bison on there fucking roaming the plains, bro. Looks like fucking Red Dead Redemption on your head.
Fuck.
But so I got there, and I'm wearing my button-up shirt, my slacks. I look at homeboy; he's got jeans on. I'm all, oh, what the fuck? And he goes, "Why I got my stuff to change?" I was like, "Okay." And then our boss was wearing jeans. I was like, "Well, because I thought about wearing these ones and just what I was wearing." And I'm like, "No, I'll wear slacks. You know, I'll be profesh." And for some reason, the email said team picture. So I thought we were all going to be hugging and smiling or whatever. And then it took 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I just got there. They took a picture from here to here. Of
course.
So I could have been wearing fucking shorts.
You've been wearing
and then I
nothing.
just went, the guy's like, stand over here and then come over here.
Turn
and
your
then,
body.
And then turn your body and
Smile.
then look at your head. And I'm like, smile. And I go, and they go, click. And I was like, this is why I dressed up like this whole time?
Damn.
So
I
I was
got
like,
pissed. Sorry.
fuck
Where is
yeah.
it?
Just keep
Yeah,
it.
you're good.
You know where it is?
Right out.
Just
go
right here in the
down.
corner,
There's a
dude.
drinking fountain. Take a right at the drinking fountain.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
No, you are.
Why don't you leave that notebook over here and we'll go over your jokes? Can you imagine he doesn't come back? He's like, I'm fucking done, dude. I spilled all my beans.
Yo, do you really think that you could do it? That you would ever do it?
I
We
think,
talked about it
yeah, we
back when
talked
we did the Wise Guys thing, and we talked about going up and doing.
Yeah, we asked.
10
Oh, he
minutes.
has to come back. He has his glasses here.
Well, I'm sure they probably didn't.
I'm sure they're like, I don't coming back with us. So when we did the episode with Keith, we asked him this question, and the same thing, right? He was like, "You guys just gotta come and do it," and he gave us an invitation to come and do it, right? But I just don't know how to work it. Obviously, it's do it over and over again, right? But when you want to go out there, obviously you want to kill.
Yeah.
So I think it would take me a hot second to just put it together to where, okay, I know this is what I'm going out with, you know? Like, let me ask you this. Let's just say you're planning on doing it and then you're working out your stuff. Would you seat your family through it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, because I would want everybody to see it.
Yeah,
At least try it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, I guess the fun part about it would be like, I'm not gonna go out there and fucking slay them.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
But
You want people.
I would like a couple laughs, but I would almost like the laughs of the uncomfortable, like, oh fuck, right?
But I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like what everybody goes through, right?
Well, like I said, we do it all the time.
That's
But
what
if
I'm
you
saying.
went back and listened to previous episodes,
Yeah.
things that killed, and you just wrote that down, and then you just thought about that and just built on. Because to snap fire and just do it over, you know, build something here and build something here and build something here. Not a lot of people can do that, right?
Yeah.
But if you have an idea and you put it down and you write it and you add to it, and you add to it, and then you polish it up and you add to it, and you add to
If
it.
you think about it, you and I are coming out with material every week.
That's what I said. That's what I said. So, but it'd be a fun experience to say, hey, at least I tried it.
Yeah.
Especially a fan of comedy as
Comedy.
much as we are, right?
Yeah.
When do they do the open mics?
Tuesday and Wednesday at Wise Guys, but there's more throughout the week.
Do you still do those? Is that where you do your stuff?
Yeah. If I'm I go every week, every Tuesday, and I try to have new stuff every time or stuff that I'm working on. If I'm not booked on the weekend, I'll hit another one on Friday.
How long is it, the open mic?
How long? Like how much time do you do?
The set, yeah.
Wise Guys is 3 minutes, and then others it depends. Some are like 4 or 5. Usually no more than 5. If it's like 7, oh my god, you're gonna be there all night.
Yeah, that's another thing though.
shit.
You never know how much you have
Because
until you actually
to me,
do
when
it.
it says 3 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, and then wait, 3 minutes is a long goddamn time
Yeah.
to stand up there and be so.
Because again, here we feed off of each other,
Right.
Right. So if I go for a
that's
long
the
story or
difference.
whatever,
Yeah, but 3
then
minutes
you pick
being
it up and you.
vulnerable. Oh my
That's what I'm
god.
saying.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
But you never have to do all of it. At no point will any mic do you ever have to do the entire time.
Oh, okay.
Shows,
Yeah, 2:59. Keep going, right?
yeah. Shows, yeah, you should do you don't want to go short because that kind of fucks with the show. But mics, if you leave early, I mean, people are typically psyched. Like the comics will like you because you gave time back to the room. And yeah, a lot of the time early on, yeah, if you say something and it crushes, fucking get out of there.
Yeah.
End on a high note, feel good about yourself, for the night.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
If you still have
Yeah,
more
I want
after
more of
that one,
and then you just fucking eat dog shit. Oh, well, I'll never do that again. Right?
Dude, so many times that's
Really?
happened to me. Or early, like late these days. Let me tell you something. These days, I don't really mind bombing, and that's a beautiful thing to be able to say. I'm very proud of myself because, I'm at a point where I can get decent stage time, and I know that I have stuff that's gonna get laughs. Usually, I'm sure I'll come across one where I bomb with all my material, but. Earlier on, there were times where I'm at a mic or whatever, and I'm like trying out new stuff, and nothing's working. And then I go, all right, let me hit him with something good. Let me give him some material, and then I'll get out of here. And I do it, and that bombs too. I'm like, well, fuck, dude. Dude, I mean, the amount of times I've driven home from a mic in complete silence. Like,
Didn't even play the radio, just listen
no
to the tires
music.
from the asphalt.
Exactly. No, literally that, dude. It's like it's 1:30.
That was the radio.
All by myself. Dude. Yeah, because a lot of time I'd be, I used to drive home listening to my set that I just did, and like thinking about, okay, how did this go? How did that go? But man, there were times where I'd be like, I don't even want to.
I turned that dog shit off.
I don't even want to remember that.
Are those clips you're posting? Is that of your doing? Are you setting up your phone or your camera, or is the actual?
No, I got a camera, and I bought a bunch of like legit camera stuff, good lens, all that, good audio, recording, and that's all me. I started like. And I tell guys who are starting out or early on, I tell them record every set, record everything, and watch it, because a lot of people they'll put their phone up and they'll do an audio recording, put it on the stool, and they'll say that they listen to it back. They don't. I know because I did it and I didn't listen to a lot of it. You gotta set it up, and I would do this. Set it up somewhere if you got a little tripod, or just lean it on something on a table, and then watch it, because you get a different perspective on it. Like if I'm watching one of my buddies who we were just talking, he's like, yeah, I got this idea for whatever, and I'm going to try it out. Okay. When they're working on a bit, you can watch it and you can see things that they don't, you'd be like, you know what, this is where this joke should go. This is kind of the idea of it. Or maybe, there's a perfect callback right there that you missed for whatever. But when you watch yourself, you get to do that for you. So why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
And you also fix all of the little nervous tics that you have on stage, because we're our harshest critics. Yeah. And when you watch it, you're like, oh my God, I look like such a idiot, dude. I can't believe, I used to, I'd play with my hair, or I'd tug on my shirt too much. And I'm like, what are you doing? You look insane, So then you fix it because you watch it. And then, yeah, watching my sets has made the biggest impact on my writing, because you see things that you're like, oh, I missed this whole, or that actually doesn't make any sense, that line, and I can see why it bombed and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's kind of like, so I get to listen and sometimes watch our episodes just because I'm the one that comes up with the clips.
Yeah.
And like every now and then, like I will watch or I will listen, and I go, oh shit, I should have said this.
Yes.
When he said that.
Yes.
And then so that's what.
Yes.
If we had it, obviously what we do is a little different, right? But if we had the choice of doing it again somewhere else, now I have a line that is gonna kill.
Yes.
Right.
That's exactly it.
Even I go, oh shit, I missed that fucking opportunity. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? Or then something that happens to me a lot. This is kind of not necessarily the same, but it's in the same area. When we talk and we laugh, usually he says something funny and I miss it because I'm laughing so hard.
Sure.
And then I go, oh shit, and it was I could have gone on a random shit off of what he just said, and I lost it because I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, so, exactly. That's the same idea. Yeah. But you just get to do it it's only gonna help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you do get to try again.
Yeah.
You can do the whole thing again. And yeah, it opens up all these different opportunities. Oh, maybe this is actually the kind of joke that this is, or maybe this is, it's made a huge difference.
As having friends here that are up and coming comics, do you guys, and I guess I don't want to tiptoe or say anything that would like break the bro code, but do you ever take like, hey, yo, you ought to say this, and help each other out in like, oh, yo, you missed the mark on this one. Well, what if you added this to it? And do you guys take that criticism and like actually, oh, that's great. And it's okay in the comedy world? Yeah,
for sure. Especially with your closer friends. Yeah, like I welcome it. If it's someone who's just starting.
Hey, bro, I got the best joke for you. How many times have you heard that, right?
Oh, after so many shows, it's guys coming up to me, who've never even done it, and they're like, you know what, you should talk about this. And
you should talk about this, bro.
Yeah, or I got a joke for you, and it's like, fuck off. But yeah, like my friends in the scene, like other comics, like, yeah, for sure. Like, and there a lot of the time there's stuff like one of my like yeah, I'll take another, sure, if you got more.
Finish off one more. We got a few more minutes here. We'll wrap her up.
I welcome it from my friends for sure, and I'll sit like sometimes when we're just hanging, we'll run ideas by each other, and like, you got anything for that?
How great is that to have a close knit group of guys and be able to riff and be able to be like, yeah, you're right.
We tell people how to podcast every day. And
sure.
None of our peers listen.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, there's times, at Wise Guys, whatever, I'll be at the mic, I'll be working on a joke, and I'll get off stage, and then my buddy will be there. He's like, okay, I like it, but what if you tried? What if you said this, and what if you tried that? Or before I go up, I'm like, I'm working on this thing, and then with people I'm close with for sure, because I don't want to assume that, because there's still that part of me that's like, hey, everyone's doing their own thing. I don't welcome it from everybody,
Right.
so it's not necessarily my place to tell everybody. But with my friends, they'll sometimes, as soon as they get off stage, I'm like, dude, this is fucking, try this, and sometimes they do and it works, and I'm like, yes. And sometimes they do and it doesn't work, and I go, I didn't fucking
told
say anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. But no, it's that's one of my favorite parts of it is that camaraderie that comes out of that, because it's like, we're all just doing this thing,
right?
And if we all stick to it, I try to find the people who I can tell are like really about it. Some people are, and some people come to a comedy scene because it's a good hang, and there's a lot of funny people. Yeah, sure, they'll go up and they'll do stand up, but they're not really trying to be a comedian. That's what I kind of look for. And those,
this is a hobby. I'm taking this serious, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a career out of this.
Right.
And then, but I understand the allure of a scene like that, because it's a place where you can go. There's going to be people there at least a couple, 3-4 times a week. You got a place you can go and hang, whatever. But I'm looking for the people who are like, I'm trying to do this. And those folks, that's one of my favorite things. It's just like riffing bits. Some of my favorite jokes have come from like standing in the kitchen with my roommate. He does stand up as well. And just throwing ideas back and forth, and then we work them out, and then it's like, shit, I think I got something here.
Who here in the local scene is somebody to watch for?
I'd keep an eye out for. I mean, there's.
Can you imagine? He's like, no one. Dude.
It's all just me.
Not a damn thing.
I'm your local Matt Rife.
Oh, don't get me started on Matt Rife,
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead, tell us.
Well, let me finish this first, and then I'll go off on that boy.
Because if he was ugly, ain't got nothing, right?
Yeah, man.
See, I told you. I told you.
Look.
Anyway,
I'll get to that. So who to look out for? Like, there's a few guys that when I headline, that I'm like, these are the guys I want on there. There's a handful actually. Karan Reddy, Andres Herrera, Pete Jr., Andy Gold. Those guys, those two, they headline as well, but they still deserve more.
Well, tell them about the Beehive.
Yeah, I mean, any of these guys.
we'd love to have anybody.
Karan's not really a lot of fun to hang out with, but he's a great guy. He's just quiet, But those Elena Hershey, she's great. She's really smart, and she's like a pro, only a few years in. And then Colin Shoemaker, he's my roommate, but he's great. And Gabe Olson, I'm trying to, because I feel like if any of these guys watch it and I don't name them, they're gonna be so pissed. But I think that's a pretty solid. Those are the guys that like I asked to have on my show. Those are the people that I'm like, this will be a good time. But everyone's working. That's what I like to see. A lot of people, I like to see people working on stuff, and even if they're not, headlining, touring, and crushing every time, it's like, I don't care if a lot of these guys are like bomb on a set, because it's like I know they're really about it. Yeah. Gabe's one of the first friends I had out here, so and he's so funny, dude. A lot of these people are so funny.
Like when we started the podcast, and obviously you're two different worlds, but you build a camaraderie with people that you enjoy doing this, and we do it together, and it's like you're both digging through the trenches together, right?
Exactly.
Right? You have the top of the food chain, and we're down here, but we're all trying to get there at the same time, and that's what builds friendships and enjoy this. Is like when we sit down with some of our pod friends and it just started the same time before, shortly after. It's like that's what I love about this.
Exactly.
Like, we all have the same goal. And we all love doing this.
That's the beautiful thing about comedy too. Is like, I've moved scenes a few times. I've lived in like 3 different comedy scenes while I've been doing it. And when you show up to a place, it's just like when we got to Utah, when we moved to Utah, it's like we just looked on a website, or just looked up where open mics in Utah. We found one. We went to it. When I showed up, it's like you can see. I'm like, oh, those are the comics. You can just tell by the way they're standing, by the way they're hanging around. It's like those are the comics, and then you can just walk on in. It's like you already have this thing that connects us, Yeah. I think Chris Rock said this on the episode of Comedians in Cars, where he was at some big party, fancy party thing, and just feeling, whatever, bummed out. And then he finds another comedian. He's like, "Oh, thank God you're here." A lot of it doesn't even matter really who it is, but it's like, "Oh, thank God, somebody who also sees this for what it is, and I can relate."
Right.
We already have a thing, and how cool is that to already be connected to so many people, across the world, really, but like across the country. It's like I could live anywhere, and then find the comedians. Okay, these are my folks. These are my people here. And I love that, man. It's such a cool thing, And then you get into it, you get to know the kind of dynamics of it, and then you're like, okay, these guys fucking suck, and some people are sometimes they're real cliquey too. Like LA is so cliquey. Even out here is a little bit, and it's like it really bummed me out to see that, because I'm like, really, you guys
Little
too?
Utah?
Exactly. It's like, what do you guys? Come on, there's not enough of us to be, separating ourselves from each other. And I feel like I kind of made an effort to try to not fall into that, and because just like we're all doing this thing,
Right.
But that's just how people are. That's how communities are. They're gonna find more close knit groups, and then that becomes those are them, we're us sort of deal. I think that's so silly.
It's true in every walk of life,
Yeah.
with every clique, no matter what it is. If you're a comedian, a podcaster, if you're a biker, a motorcyclist, if
Sure.
you're, I'm in the UTV community, right? Same thing. There's this, and then there's this, and then there's where it's fun.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. even if like an office, you're like,
Absolutely.
if you go to like the big staff meeting, and you're like, we're this branch, they're that branch, and we're different, and it's like, it's just
tribes,
it's
man.
just humans.
It's tribes.
Yeah, it's just a very human thing, but I try not to do that. Try to be friends with everybody, because you never know who's gonna pop,
right?
and like, and you don't want to make enemies especially in a local scene. What are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For so many people, comedy is a second chance at being popular in high school. That's what I like to say.
Dude.
Yeah. It really is. You know what I mean? It's like, were
you popular in high school?
No.
Yeah, neither was I.
No, but I got a little following on Instagram, so it's all good.
Now everybody wants to be your friend, right?
Exactly. Now I got people from high school and middle school hitting me up like, "Oh, hey, remember me?" Like, fucking no, I don't.
Yes.
How about no, I don't remember you, bro? Riley Doust, I don't remember you. No, I don't fucking remember you, Dylan
Fuck, I'm
Haney.
gonna look them up.
Yeah.
Send a picture with Trey. Wasn't this your friend? Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all wanted to finger blast your girlfriend back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking yeah. So, but yeah, it's that's one of the many things that I love so much about comedy. being humbled too, constantly being humbled, I think is good. Like it's done so much for me as it's just my growth and just development as a person, you know, just being in like a thing. Like I feel like you got to grow up kind of quick in comedy, or at least because I started when I was 17. So it's like, you know, I'm going to mics with 40-year-olds who are still trying to make it. And it's like, but you know, and
I'm 40. Chill out, man.
well, you're not trying to make it in stand-up, so you chill out.
I'm in my own lane here.
Yeah. You're doing your thing. I don't care. Shit.
Yo, I want to go. I want to talk about this. I want to go down the Matt Rife phenomenon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dude, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Rife.
Yeah. All right, bro. I mean, that is on his level of humor, so you can open for him with shit like that. That's Rife.
What is it? What is it?
He's hot.
That's all.
He's hot.
Well, hold on.
And-
so are you?
But I'm not Matt Rife hot. I don't
You don't work out.
I don't have a jaw. I work out. I just haven't been in a couple weeks.
Yo, remember when he was in? What was it? What did he start in? That fucking
Wild 'N Out?
Wild 'N Out. He was an ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, he got
an
money.
ugly
And he
child.
got, yeah, but he's got a model
Steroids,
face.
bro. Let's get you on steroids.
I should get on steroids.
I'll get you.
Dude.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? What am I trying out for the combine? I don't.
No,
what,
you
what
don't
do I
need
care?
to piss for anybody. Clean. You're
Yeah,
good. You're good.
Exactly. See, we can't.
I should do steroids.
So let me ask you this, because it's part of the comedy scene. You have to be honest. He's a comedian. That's what he does, right?
Yeah, and he's huge.
And
Yeah.
but do you think because guys like us take our wives and our girlfriends and they like, okay, we'll entertain it, and then they see this, and the girls gravitate between? Do you think that's what got him so fucking big? Because I see when I hear, when I look on the crowds, it's all fucking girls.
Yeah.
It's all girls, and a couple of their boyfriends or husbands are like,
Right, reluctant boyfriends. Yeah, it's girls and reluctant boyfriends that are there. Dude, I got a few things.
Someone's
I'll give
jealous.
him that he's very quick too. Like when he's doing his crowd work,
Savvy,
he is good
yeah.
at crowd work,
That's
and
what I said.
and he's quick. But he's also like, a lot of this crowd work is just pointing out a thing.
The obvious.
And yeah, so it's like,
He's like, hey, your big tits, huh? Everybody
And then-
explodes. I'm like,
yeah, or it's like a very, very mild gay joke. You know, he's like, "You're so hot, I'd fuck you," or you know, and he is quick with calling this shit out, but the crowd that he attracts is just 22-year-old blondes, like 100%, and I think
Talk about goals, yeah.
I'm very it would be whatever. He's very quick and he's good at calling things out. But I think ultimately the clip, like him, that style and the clips that he puts out, it's not great for comedy as a whole, because now you've got this generation who their first exposure to stand-up comedy is clips online before they see a live show or anything like that. They've seen clips. So with stuff like clips like his, where it's like it's just chicks running up to the stage or giving him gifts, and then
we've
he's
all
like,
seen the same one.
yeah,
The girl giving him the gifts, right?
yeah, but
With
now
the squeaky titties.
they all got squeaky titties at 22. But like, so now you've got, and that becomes a part of the show, and that becomes a clip that gets millions of views. But now you got these people watching that, thinking that this is what comedy shows are. And if Matt Rife, which I think he does, I genuinely think that he wants to be a comedian, wants to do stand-up, and wants to be good at stand-up. I think this stuff is just kind of, it just happened this way, that now he's a total
Snowballed,
babe,
right?
and this is the crowd he's got. I don't think he's different than any guy, really, because it's like, at first you see the crowds you're getting and you're like, fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. Everything I say, they love, and I don't even have to stress about jokes. But if he's like really about it, which I I think he is, and wants to get better, that's gonna get annoying. And I've heard stories about him at shows being like, "You guys, calm down. I'm doing a thing here." Like he wants to work on jokes and he wants to actually have a good set, but the crowd just won't allow him to.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of this, let me ask you this: have you ever seen him do stand up? I've seen him do crowd work.
So that's the thing. Sorry, before you answer that, that's the thing that anytime people ask me about Matt Rife, they're like, dude, he's so fun. Oh my God, he's so funny. I go, can you tell me one of his jokes? Can you tell me one? Just one.
I've only seen the crowd work stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've never seen him live. You know,
He's coming, isn't he?
yeah,
Like
$350 tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get on that
absolutely.
show.
Yo, I heard you love Matt Rife, right?
I know.
That's your biggest
Hey,
fan,
Matt
right?
Rife, I know you're watching.
I know you're watching. He's not watching.
Would love
Let's
to
be
have-
real, right?
Hey, man.
But
you
no,
know.
you're
But
right.
he watches-
You're right. I've only seen the clips.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right.
So I don't know what his material is like, but I think I saw a clip or someone told me, people who know him better than I do told me that he was like, he's expressed like, is this just like a flash in the pan sort of deal? Like I hope this, you
This
know,
is the next Dane Cook.
you know what I mean? Could be. He's.
No, because he likes Dan Cook.
I do like Dan Cook.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no,
it went
for real
out of
though.
control there
It
for
got
a while, right?
insane. I mean, the first time I saw him was like at an arena. It
And
was an arena show.
no disrespect to him, because I think
he's
he's a great
great.
comedian. But it same thing. The same people gravitated to him, and it was out of control.
Well, Dan Cook also had guys as fans,
You're right.
though. He had
You're
like
right.
frat guys
You're
and
right.
like that kind of stuff. So Matt Rife doesn't. I mean, there's been a few that I've met that are like, dude, I love Matt Rife, and it's like, all right, but
You're all, yeah. How's that White Claw?
right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
How's that VC?
Yeah. Heyo. But yeah, so you know, I think he was talking about longevity, like how long does this last?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's obvious, and the answer is obvious, that the reason that he's getting such a big following and all these sold out shows is, you know, primarily because he's a fucking babe, and he's quick, and he's, you know, you know, that's the live show. He makes it a fun show for the people, but you know, we're talking being a comedian and having like jokes and stuff. It's just different approaches to it, and I also wonder how long that lasts.
Who's another hot comedian?
Where's he coming from? Where's he coming? Where's he
He's
playing?
going. I think he's Kingsbury.
Kingsbury Hall? Yeah.
So here's another thing. I feel like, and I could be wrong, because I mean, I don't dislike him, but I'm also not a fan, so I don't follow him or anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like he never did the comedy club.
I don't think he's done Wise Guys.
He went, but I'm saying like he went to the big leagues right from the get go.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so funny because I just watched a video today on YouTube about all the podcasters that we know, right? The Nikki Glaciers, the Tom Seguras, the Theos, the what's the Bobby? Not Bobby Lee. What's the other one? Bobby. You and I talked about him last episode, or a couple episodes ago.
Oh,
Ball guy.
Kelly.
Bobby Kelly.
yeah.
You know, and they were all talking about this, and they're putting pictures like how we used to, you know, back when we had a fucking producer. And this guy is not only handsome, but he's ripped as shit. Like
Yeah.
he's chiseled.
But again, like I said, name it hot comedians.
Well, that's
What's
the
your
other
list?
thing with comedy.
Trey Lamb.
Ah, please, you flatter me, you son of a bitch. With comedy too, it's like you don't. I mean, your rating, you get a couple notches if you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Chris D'Elia was one of the hottest
That's
comedians in his time. If you saw that guy on the street and didn't know it, you'd be like, you wouldn't say like that's a hot guy.
Yeah.
But because he's a comedian, suddenly we are, right? But Matt Rife is a hot guy.
Yeah.
That if he could model and shit.
Do you think that the Chris D'Elia thing went away when he got in trouble?
He got in trouble again.
Already?
Rolling Stone, like few months, like 4 or 5 months ago.
Really?
Rolling
Remember he
Stone put
went
out
to
another thing.
rehab not too long ago again.
I just love getting laid so much. That was his apology on his podcast.
Yeah, but now he's got a wife and a kid, and
Oh, dude.
Doesn't matter.
Dude. We're talking Hollywood. They don't give a fuck, dude.
that's true.
Oh, I could... Dude.
Are you single, by the way?
I've heard some stories. No, not currently.
Oh, okay.
No, not anymore, I should say. Currently is a bad way to put it. Anymore. I'm not.
Nice.
Yeah. Got a great gal.
Sorry,
Who-
ladies.
Yeah, get
No much.
out of here.
Put your pussies away.
Get out of here. Go on, get.
So aggressive with that word. My God.
Pussy?
Yeah.
They have pussies.
You gotta whisper.
We were just talking about eating box earlier.
Yeah, sure. You eat some box,
I mean, come on,
whatever.
We said muff
No
diving and munching. We didn't go
That's
pussy.
right.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
man.
I apologize. Ladies, I apologize.
No, I got it. Yeah, great gal who, and what I like about her is she likes stand up. She doesn't love it, and so she's very honest.
Like my wife. Huh?
If I-
She likes MMA,
Yeah,
but she doesn't love it.
yeah,
So she tolerates it from me.
right.
She's just like,
She's like, yeah.
something we
But
do
this is
together,
what
I
I'm
guess.
trying. This is what I'm trying to make my life.
Yeah.
So like, but she's very honest about like I'll run ideas by her and she'll be like, "That's fucking stupid." All right.
It's my turn to pee.
go-
I pee and then we'll
Hey,
get out of here.
Yeah.
I need to roll out of here.
Well,
All right.
okay, well,
I mean, we're going
Okay,
on
so
2 hours.
give us your dates.
I got nothing in the books right now. I got some road
I'm
stuff.
opening for Matt Rivers.
Yeah. I'll have
Kingsbury Hall.
I did just do Kingsbury.
Yo, by the way, you're tatted the fuck up, dude.
I'm yadded, baby. I'm yadded, baby.
Every now and then
Don't
I get
worry
to see the
about it.
arms because I know
Look at
you
that.
are.
That looks like some pus head.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a big old gash right there.
No, I was just like, so the guys that
Phallic.
the guy that did all the Metallica shirts,
Uh-huh.
pus head.
Oh, I thought you
The
were
art
saying
like,
pussy in a weird
sorry.
way.
I know.
I thought you were
But anyway,
He
That
says,
is a
eating
vagina joke.
bugs.
No, this is my guy up in Ogden. His name's Brody, 1,000 Cranes.
damn.
I've known him for a few years now. He's done a bunch of stuff on me.
How much of your body is tattooed, percentage wise?
And this is the only thing on this leg. I got a little guy right here, this whole arm, my chest, and then a couple on this arm.
God damn. Anyway, your dates.
So look out! I'll have a Ogden. I'll be headlining Ogden pretty soon. The Wise Guys there. TreyLamb.com, which is new, for all upcoming shows, and you can get merch. Check out my podcast, Deadbeat Son. And yeah, that's it.
They heard Trey Lamp is
They
here. They're
laugh.
like,
a little
fucking
giggle and
20
giggle.
girls
they're
out
onto
here.
it, right?
Angel Severa on Instagram, Angel Severa on Facebook. That's my last name, Cervera.
You can get me on the gram on Lord_long_balls with a Z. That's because I could be in the royal family. My bloodline says so, and I need to take it away since I've been on the TRT. I am
Yeah, you're tight.
tight.
You're tight.
tied in there. Sometimes I can't find them because they're in my gut. But
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that every time you say, when we have a guest and you say Lord_long balls, you explain why you're a lord, but you never explain why
The
you
long
the
balls.
long
We've gone way back
I
to
know,
it. I got my
but
blood
it's-
work done. Like I should be in the royal family.
No, I
There's
know,
like
but
fucking-
you never explained the long balls part.
Oh,
You always
come here.
explain the Lord. It's like,
Well, they should know.
Who cares
They
about
should
that?
know I'm 42 for Christ's sake.
Trey Lamb, thank you so much for coming.
Hey,
Hopefully it's not
thanks.
your last day, last time.
No, we'll be back.
We'll be back for sure. Anything else?
I'm good. Thanks for coming, man.
Hey, thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me,
Good
brother.
time.
Hell yeah.
Hey, tell Keith about us.
Yeah.
Until next time, take care of yourselves out there, and we will see
Hey,
you
weird,
All those
weird
motherfuckers on
on
request.
the other side of the beach.
Start asking me for shit at the end. Oh, I see what this is.
Oh, those squares?